Hey guys, welcome back to LOI Fan TV. Yes, we're back after the international break. 2 weeks off, the mid-season break is over, and we're back for Game Week 19 to give our preview and predictions. Once again, I'm joined by Ross on his travels. Ross, whereabouts are you this week?
Still in Bali, Luke. Yeah, still in Bali. So, yeah, life's not too bad. I'm up though 2:30 tomorrow morning for a sunrise hike, and herself
Oh,
organised. So, yeah, not ideal, but yeah, sure, we get on with
we'll crack on. So,
it. Yeah,
um,
three hours sleep max, like,
oh
to see a
Jesus.
sunrise. Woke
Oh.
nonsense, woke nonsense, like.
Um, Speaking of woke nonsense, Bohemians are away to Cork City. Do you like that? That was a good one, wasn't
Nice
it?
segue, lovely
That was a
segue.
great segue.
Yeah.
Um, Bohemians are away to Cork City. Now we're always saying before the video, like do we even refer to the last games because they were so long ago? Like Bows beat Derry
Mm.
away, Cork drew at home to Shells. Like, yeah, it's just I feel like especially now following the mid season break, like kind of form goes out the window and teams kind of build new form, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I think definitely been a bit of a break of the players off and Ibiza and the likes. Yeah, I saw a few Instagram stories. It was good for players having a good time. So we just see what kind of shape they're coming back in. I'm sure they'll be all right. But Damien Duff wasn't a happy camper with his boys heading off. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's kind of hard to read into kind of form coming back into these games because it has been a little while and it feels like kind of a fresh start a little bit. So yeah, it is kind of hard to read back into the form and lead into these ones.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose from a Cork City perspective, like Gennaro Daniels, I know he's contracting to the end of the season, but there's a gentleman's agreement in place until July. So I don't know, will he be playing in this game? And I don't know if you've heard anything on that front.
No, I assume he will. I assume he will. He's,
Yeah.
he's he's been a real revelation. I think he's picked up a good few goals for them. So, yeah, he's a key player from there, especially with Keating out injured for the season, pretty much. Sean Maguire come back into the side will be a positive for them. And they're always a tough proposition to turn across, aren't they? Cork, like Shell's obviously drawn down there. Yourselves went down there and drew as well. So it's a tough game for Bohemians. Obviously, fancied themselves had a great results against Derry, but I think this is Sean Grehan's last game, I believe. So I think he's one more in him for Bowes. So that's a big plus to have him still for this one. It's a tough game to call, though. Like it's a tough place to go, Turner's Cross.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Like Bow is kind of level on points with Drogheda in third place. Yeah,
Game in
they're
hand as
really,
well. Isn't
yeah, game in hand exactly. If they win down here, they're really motoring. But do I think they'll win down here? As you kind of touched off, it's a tough place to go. Turn this cross, and
Mm.
Cork City haven't really been getting the rub of the green. They'd say so. I think they're kind of due a result. Do I think they'll beat them? Probably not. But I'll probably go with a score draw here. I'll probably go 1-0.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I think it feels like every week you're saying safe money's in a draw in nearly every game. It feels like.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Cork 1 point above Sligo, so they're eye kind of firmly over their shoulder on what Sligo are doing. It's like a kind of a tight battle between those two. You feel, and no one else really in the mix for relegation. I don't think so. They'll be obviously see all their home games. Their home form is going to be crucial in terms of finishing ninth this season and picking up those key points. But it's a funny feeling Bows could just nick it. I just have a funny feeling they could for something catch Cork a bit cold or something and have enough. I think I'm going to go for Bows nick at 1-0, but yeah, it's tough to call.
Yeah, yeah, tough to call for sure. I could well see that also. I suppose then moving on, Derry City are playing host to Galway. Like Derry, kind of the break probably came at a good time for them. Like if you look at their last year results, they have two losses. Like they lost to Bows, lost to Rovers and Derry, and then
Yeah,
equalised in 90 minutes against Drogheda to claim a draw. So like from kind of their rich vein of form, they've kind of fell off a cliff a little bit. So maybe they'll be a bit rejuvenated following the break. And then Galway United on the other hand kind of came to Tala or really resolute 0-0 draw. They would have taken that before the game, and yeah, they were really they were very tough to break down. But yeah, no, this game will be a kind of another tough one to call.
yeah, for sure. It doesn't get any easier, does it? Yeah, Derry are kind of a funny one. I think the last few games they haven't been playing well at all. I think that Bows game they played poor again, and I think tactically I saw Tiernan Lynch getting a lot of criticism for that. So, it's just don't know what you're going to get from them at all. Derry, like they can just turn up and they can put teams away and they can score bags of goals. Duffy and Gavin White and the likes and form, and then sometimes it just doesn't click for them, and it feels like they're just a kind of yeah, there's such a mixed bag. It's really hard to know what you're going to get from Derry at all. This is a tough fixture for them. Like Galway, obviously had that poor run, but backed it up with it. I think they beat was it Sligo at home, then the draw with yourselves, and if they can get a draw against Rovers at Tala, they can certainly get a draw against Derry in the Brandywell, at least.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. There's just a part of me that just thinks Derry after the break, they've been really good to being really poor, and I think now like this is kind of the result that could potentially kickstart the second half of their season.
Yeah.
Yeah, here for me, even though as I said, I was at the game in Tala against Galway, and they were really really tough to break down. A very solid performance, were well worth their point. I just think going up to Derry here after the break, I really think Derry will be desperate to get a win, and I think they probably will. So I'm probably going to lean towards a 2-1 Derry win.
Yeah, fair, fair. Yeah, I'll go for Galway because I think Galway are 3 points behind Derry. I go for just to kind of keep the pace with Derry, not let Derry get too far away from them. Both in sixth and seventh at the minute. I'll go for a 1-1 draw and just to keep 3 points between the two sides. So I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I suppose then moving on to Richmond Park, St. Pat's are playing host to Drogheda now. 1 point separates the sides. Drogheda in second, Pats in fourth. Obviously Pats go win at Sligo in their last game, and then Drogheda, the last minute equaliser in Waterford. So yeah, just from a Drogheda perspective, 30 points from a half return in the season is
They're
phenomenal.
safe.
Yeah, they're safe. I think the pressure's really off Drogheda here, whereas for Pats, it's probably the opposite. It's like, right, we really need to hit the ground running now because we need to get back into the title race. And yeah, it's kind of two drastics, isn't it? Like Drogheda, no pressure. Pats, a good bit of pressure.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think because obviously this weekend coming back into it, obviously the big game is at Talker Park, but you kind of forget this game is huge. Like this is a massive game of football and one to certainly keep an eye on. Yeah, Pat's obviously in fourth, 1 point off Drogheda, who are in second. So it's just so much on the line here. Like really, both sides need a result. Obviously, more pressure on Pats, you feel, to go and get that win. Then Drogheda, but yeah, it's tough to call. I think Drogheda have done well against Pats and they drew at Richmond and all. Did Drogheda beat them in Drogheda? They might have done. I can't remember what the result was, but they've a good record against Pats this season. I'm pretty sure it might be 2 draws, but they'll definitely be fancy themselves to kind of frustrate Pats again and go to Richmond Park and do it. And I think.
Yeah, it's two draws. It's a nil all in Drogheda, and then there was a nil all in Richmond as well. So two stalemates.
Yeah, it's too sound. Geez, you can nearly see the same again, couldn't you?
Yeah, potentially, yeah, 100%. The Connor Keely
Yeah,
derby as well, who's as we kind of
yeah,
touched
for
off,
sure.
probably been the best player in the league so far this season, so he'll have another point to prove.
100%, 100%. I think, yeah, obviously, let go by Pats last year, walks back into that team now ahead of whoever it is, Sean Hoare or whatever, walks back into that team. So yeah, this is a big game. And I think Pats have been, like, obviously, to beat Sligo, but I think it was slightly uninspiring. I think it was a Keane penna, wasn't it, that separated the sides,
Yeah.
uninspiring enough from them. And just like, it's just, I don't know. I just don't see them having I don't know, being able to grind out results like this against the Droghedas of the world. And Drogheda, obviously, I think they're getting a little bit leggy maybe towards the end of the breaks, and that little break would have done them well. I think they'll be ready to go again. I think Hui got sent off in that last game, so he'll be suspended, but they'll more than fancy their chances to go to Pats and get a point at least. I might go for a shock away win here. I might go for a 1-0 Drogs.
Jeez, can you imagine? That
Spanner
will
in the
be
works.
that will be a shock. Yeah, Jesus, that'd be some going. And if Drogheda did that, like they'd be thinking, geez, are they gonna chase Rovers to the end here?
Do you know what
Um,
the only thing with Drogheda is actually at the moment is though I wonder if there's a bit of and obviously there's the issue with European football. I'm not sure if you've seen that with the
yeah,
owners of Drogheda owning that Silkeborg, whatever they're called, club who are in the Conference League as well. So will that be playing on players' minds? Will there be just a bit of distraction going on? Maybe that's a factor to think about here. I'm sure Kev Doherty will have the players well drilled and they'll know what's going on. But if they are being kicked out of Europe, it'll be such a sucker punch to all those players. And there might be a bit of a morale issue going on there. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on for them. But I'll still back them to win. But Jesus, that'd be a big sucker punch for them.
yeah. To be honest, I can't see that come to fruition because like there's many cases across the board. Obviously, we said Crystal Palace in the Europa League, and then like even I was thinking like going back, like this is kind of a new rule, and like Girona are owned by Man City's owners, and they were both in the Champions League like a year or two
Yeah,
ago. So like from what I've heard, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be a bit of a loose ruling this year. So I think Girona will just get away with it, but yeah, maybe it might be on the back of their minds, but it shouldn't be really.
no,
But
yeah,
yeah. Here, I'm just gonna go towards a narrow Pats win. I just think, as I was saying, form goes with the win. I'm just really looking at the team's ability wise, and I just think, yeah, probably pressure's a bit on Pats, whereas Drogheda isn't really. So we'll see. I'll probably go 1-0 Pats.
Yeah, fair. Let's see what you made of, Stephen Kenny. Can he get the result?
Exactly, 100%. And then kind of another kind of pressure cooker game, so to speak. On Saturday there was Sligo. Sligo Rovers are playing host to Waterford. Yeah, 10th place Sligo against 8th place Waterford now. There's 11 points between the sides, but Sligo will
Yeah.
be looking at this game thinking if we win, we can potentially go ahead of Cork here into ninth. So a huge game down the bottom.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Sligo will be like, because I think in a different year, maybe they could be a little bit could adrift at this stage or whatever. So they're lucky in a way that there is still that other side right there
Yeah.
behind them. So it kind of is sometimes they can get behind and rally behind. It's not like a lost cause or anything. So like they can really kind of step on it for the second half of the season, plenty to play for. And I think they've shown glimpses of reasons to be positive. I think obviously they've got a lot of good young players coming through, but it's obviously that little bit of naivety at the back at times, letting them leak a lot of goals. You just worry with kind of that Poragam and sniffing around the box. Like, is there going to be issues there? You feel, so yeah, I worry about them a little bit. This one, Waterford obviously kind of rejuvenated enough. I think they've only lost one in their last five, so they're in decent form. Obviously, at the back of the 2-2 draw against Drogheda, which would be a bit disappointing, but obviously conceding so late. Um, they themselves, Waterford, obviously 4 points. They're probably looking up the table rather than down. And obviously, they're 4 points off the top half. So maybe they can try and narrow that gap a little bit. That will certainly be the goal this weekend. But it's another tough one to call, really, in Sligo.
Yeah, it's a big one to call. Like I was even looking there at the table, like Cork are 1 point ahead of Sligo, but it doesn't feel like Cork are down there, like because they're playing well and they're taking
No,
points
yeah.
off teams. It's mad when you look at it, but yeah, this is a huge game. Waterford are in a good run of form under John Coleman, and there's plenty of goals in that team, whereas Sligo are leaking goals. So it's not really a good combination. But I'm just kind of thinking back to when they faced off earlier on the season, it was a bit of a goal fest, and to be honest, I could probably see that again here. I think Sligo, if they lose this game, they're in big trouble. I just can't really see them losing it. I can see Waterford winning, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn between a Waterford winner or a draw here, so I might just lean towards a 2-all draw. I think there'll be goals in it.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that potentially as well. I'll just go for. Listen, I'll go for Waterford 2-1, just about. But yeah, it could really. That's a really tough one to call. That's a kind of a bit of a punt in the dark. But I'll just go for them having a little bit more know-how in the final third and go for them to nick it.
Yeah. I could well see that too. But yeah, then I suppose moving on to the main event.
Here
Shelbourne
we
are playing
go.
host to Shamrock Rovers. You could paint this many different ways. Damien Duff versus Stephen Bradley, Kerr McEnroy versus Matt Healy, Luke versus Ross. There's so many rivalries in this tie.
Yeah.
Like, where do you begin?
But the big question mark. Forget your goal scoring prediction. Will there be a handshake? That's the big prediction I want to hear. Will there be a handshake?
He doesn't shake many people's hands, Damien Duff. So I'd say there will be. Geez, if there wasn't, like, it's just gonna be
Yeah,
like almost for the sake of nipping the
in the
story in the
bud.
bud. You just shake
Yeah, yeah,
hands,
yeah.
like it's
The
almost
only
like
way it doesn't go down, the only way it doesn't happen if it's a real feisty affair and there's a bit of beef in
yeah,
the last few minutes or something. That's the only way. I
yeah.
think if it's a whatever happens or if it's a draw or something, I think they'll just shake hands and get on with it or whatever.
I, I have a feeling that if Rovers win this game, he won't shake Stephen Bradley's hand. I just have this feeling with Duffer because like this is a huge game for Shells. Like they're 9 points behind Rovers. They're nine, is it? Yeah, they're 9 points behind Rovers, and like
Yeah,
if they lose this, they're 12 points behind, and it's a big sucker punch to their kind of defense of their title. Now I think they will shake hands, but I couldn't see a world in
I
which
think so
Shells
too.
win. I couldn't see a world in which Shells win this game and Damien Duff doesn't shake a hand. He'd be delighted.
Yeah, yeah. I think if they lost as well, I think you'd have to do it. Just I don't think he could. They'd be such a bad luck as well.
Yeah, no,
I
wouldn't
think I
be.
think I think no matter what happens, I think they'll kiss and make up a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, as you touched on though, like 9 points between them, and like if Shells are to be in title conversation in the second half of the season, I think this is must. Like I've said it a few times now, this is the biggest must-win game. Like you could write like if it goes to, I think if it stays at 9 points or whatever, and you only have Rovers once more in Tala this season, and I don't think you're going to catch them really. Bar a miracle, I think if you knock it down to six, it's looking a bit more hopeful, and you can hope for a few points here and there and go on a bit of a run yourself. But if it goes to 12, obviously you're dead and buried. So I think this you just can't like undermine how big of a football match this is. It's absolutely enormous.
Huge. You're spot on. As far as predicting this, I normally edge on the side of precaution with this, but I have this feeling the Rovers are going to win. I don't know what it is. I just, don't, there's no real logic behind it. It's just kind of like I was listening to kind of people talk about like Paddy Barrett coming back into the team and stuff and saying he's not really like he's kind of been rushed back in. Now maybe the break will have given you an opportunity to kind of get these lads a bit fresher, but I just think like I don't know like what stuff we're gonna do. He's gonna stick with the three at the back, like tactically, what do you think he's gonna
Yeah,
do
it's
here?
hard to know. It's hard to know. I think
Yeah,
he said that we should have. He said after the break we should more or less have a clean bill of health and we should have everyone back. Maybe I'll
yeah,
say Boyd probably touch and go. Maybe it'd be great to have
mm,
him back. But uh, yeah, I think if you get Paddy Barrett back and even having Lewis Temple back as another centre half there, he was really good before his injury. Having the two of them back is huge for us defensively. Like we've been leaking silly goals a lot. So even when Paddy Barr came on against Cork, like there was this an air of calmness around the place. Like Dame Duff touching it, like Turner's cross was kind of calmed down. Everyone was kind of looking at Paddy Barr in the middle of the park, and just everyone was just paying their respect to the best centre half of the league. So, yeah, I think having him back is huge, and it makes such a difference to Shells. I think the whole team just feels his presence on the pitch. Whether Connor Kearns is back as well, another one to keep an eye on, but. Yeah, I just think having him back will be huge. I think Josh Honahan was apparently a bit of an injury issue there for Ireland. Did you see that? Josh
yeah.
didn't know minutes Honahan.
I know the poor injury that got him in the end. Yeah, I don't know if he'll start this game now because I don't know how bad it is. I
Mm,
haven't heard much to be honest. But to be honest, I don't. If he's not 100%, I don't think he'll play this game because
mm.
we've a big busy European campaign coming up as well.
Yeah,
So I think most managers be thinking that like for like if a Sean Boyd isn't 100%, I can't imagine Damien Duff throwing him in either. So I think
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see on that front. But as far as a result here, I was even like while you're chatting there, I was just like trying to come with a scoreline. I actually
yeah. I
don't
know
know.
it's hard to
I,
even
I,
envisage
I
it. It's
actually,
hard to like even. Yeah,
I actually don't know. I might just be a bit optimistic and I'll go 2-1 Rovers. What
yeah,
do you think?
yeah. I think Shells will nick it. I think maybe Meepo off the bench for the winner. Is what I'm feeling. I'll go 2-1. I'll go for the reverse. I'll go 2-1 Shells. I just think it's must-win territory now. With the fun and games are over. The hump's over. We have to go on a run now. We have to start off the second half of the season correctly. And yeah, I think we have to. Probably safe money is another draw to chance to obtain these two.
Yeah.
But I think we've taken the lead twice against Rovers this season. Um, in both the games, and we haven't capitalised on getting all 3 points. So I think we have to do it here. Need to win.
Do you think this is going to be an interesting question with this Shell squad? Like, do they handle pressure well? I know on the back end of last season they won the league. They kind of came back off that rot and they won those games. But as far as this season, like, what have you seen from Carl? I really haven't watched Shells outside of playing Rovers. But like, what do you is there that same kind of hunger there? Like, what do you reckon?
I think I think the hunger question is probably fair. It is always harder to retain it than to win it in the first place, and then to go again the next year. And it's a lot of players' first time winning it. So maybe that little bit of an experience of being champions and wearing
Mm.
the gold on your sleeve with a bit of pride and your chest held high. And a lot of these players, like we're coming from lower half sides, first division clubs, whatever, young lads coming in hadn't dealt with these moments before. So I think it's just been a learning curve for a lot of these lads. And Duff as a manager probably this first half of the campaign as well. And it's one way you would have wanted. Yeah, Gannon's been in and out at times, and Barrett's been out obviously, and it's just been. I think it's been a combination of a lot of things for them so far. But I think to be fair, a lot of the new signings haven't really clicked fully just yet. I think Chapman's yet to get going. Really looks a little bit slow at times and stuff. You kind of worry, is he a highlight reel player from his long shots and bits and pieces, and then I don't know, but hopefully he comes good. Meatballs. I think I still back him to come good, but he's had his moments, but he's had his off spells as well. So Dan Kelly and Ryan O'Kane haven't really got too much of a look in just yet. So I think it's a big second half of the season for those new lads, and maybe hopefully a couple of new recruits this summer as well.
Well, before we go, a point that just crossed my mind there that we didn't touch off. Damien Duff's halftime team talk in Cork. Did you see?
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, like
Did he open the
if that
window?
was
Did he open the window for it?
it, I hope he did. I hope he did. But I reckon that's commonplace, though. Do you know, like having a go at a
Oh
team at
yeah.
half time after put in
Ah,
a
that's
it's
normal.
commonplace.
Yeah.
Like, no one will
Yeah.
carry on. But it's just I think he cracked the window open once. Is that Cameron out there? Is that Cameron?
Yeah, don't need to open it more. Exactly. Yeah, I was trying to listen back to catch it. The only point I call was like at the start of pre-season, and then it kind of goes into
Yeah,
just kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
murmurs. But no, it happens. It was just funny that it was him.
It's gas. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Any other manager in the league and that's not
Oh,
doing the numbers it does on socials. Like,
if it was Alan Reynolds or something, like no one would be listening.
no one gives a rap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hated, ignored. Yeah. What's the saying?
Sorry.
Love. What's that saying? It's like hated, ignored, hated, adored, but never ignored, or something like that. That's Shell's for you.
Ah, Jesus. Yeah. Ah, yeah. Main
Yeah,
event. Main event. Main event.
yeah.
That's it. But yeah, there we have it, guys. Game week 19, our preview and predictions there. Leave a like under the video. Try to get to 20 likes this week. And yeah, comment your predictions and what we've discussed. If you have anything to add, please let us know and we'll get back to you. But yeah, Ross, thank you.
Nice one, Luke. Thanks, million guys.